Tim Dog. And although Tim Dog sounds like he's from the West Coast, he ain't from the West Coast. Tim Dog was an East Coast rapper from the Bronx. And he had a song called F Compton.
He was like telling me he wants some NWA stuff. Like, yo. And, you know, I just got pissed off. I was like, man, them. You know, I decided to do a demo called Compton. You know, to show everybody, you know, how I feel about them. You know, because it seemed like the whole world was on their why I don't know. You know, because they obviously was lying to everybody. You know, they was perpetrating the fraud. And where I'm from, when you do that, you get beat down.
And this song came out of nowhere. I remember in my head thinking, wait, why would you make a song called F Compton? I didn't live in Compton at that time. But, you know, I knew Long Beach and I knew Compton was right there. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. So I was a little too young to understand it. But apparently Tim Dog released that song because he noticed the West Coast was making some noise and he didn't really like the image the West Coast was portraying. The gangster image, I guess, for lack of better words. So he took it upon himself to diss a whole city.
When the record came out, he was just that's what he was on at that time. But his whole image wasn't dissing Compton. I think he did the song just to try to stir up some controversy with himself, with Dr. Dre and all that stuff.
Why Compton? I mean, NWA were from Compton, and they were the ones making the big noise, not just on the West Coast, but all over the country.
It had different messages in the song. Like, he told it more in an aggressive way, like all the gang stuff is for stupid people. Like, he don't want, you know, he was just thinking, like, he had an overall picture in that lifestyle when he made that song.
The song that later came out, jumping ahead a little bit here, but F with Dre Day from Dr. Dre's Chronic album, you may remember he has a whole verse dedicated to Tim Dog. Him and Snoop, they diss. Tim M.U.T., your bark was loud, but your bite wasn't vicious. And them rhymes you were kicking were quite bootylicious. You get with Doggy Dog, oh, is he crazy? With your mama and your daddy hollering, baby. That was all directed at Tim Dog because Tim Dog, year or so before this album was released, couple years, had the song called F Compton, and Dre, being from Compton, was not happy about that. Did that start the East Coast West Coast war? I wouldn't say it did, but it just showed you that there were things bubbling up, right? There were things bubbling up